We got Camaros, Street Rods, Falcons, Corvettes, Roadrunners, Cadillac convertibles.
Heading out singing our song. Come surf, baby, wait and see, yeah. I'm gonna take you surfing.
Welcome to the Car Guy channel. Once again, we're at Dream Machines, the Pacific Coast, Half Moon Bay Dream Machine car show, airplane show, you kind of name it, it is here. Dream Machines, a fantastic show, and I'm telling you, it covers all the bases of all the cars. Anything unique and anything different, it's here at Dream Machines. We used to say once, it's one of the greatest shows on earth on this side of California.
If you're coming, get ready to go.
I always say there's nothing like original. There's nothing like something untouched, unmolested. This car right here is what I call a survivor. Car's only original once in its life. And this represents a 1964 Rambler 990 with the Flash-O-Matic automatic transmission. These motors here were good runners in their day. And to see something like this, you know, we see a lot of the Mustangs, the Camaros, Chevelles, a lot of that stuff, and they're all cool. But to see something like this in original 1964 condition, I think is extremely cool. Being a two-door hardtop car, they got the full complete wheel covers on this. I'm telling you, this is a spectacular car. Engine looks great underneath. I was just kind of, you know, haven't seen one in a long time. So you haven't seen one? When we come to Dream Machines, you see a lot, which I don't normally see. Check this car here out. Now, this is a very unusual motorcycle. Now, what year is this?
1922.
1922. Now, this is extremely unusual, and obviously, this is not an American-built bike.
No, it's built in Germany, in Berlin, actually.
And again, what is so unique about it, it's probably the only model in the world that's like this, is with the engine is actually built on the front wheel?
Right, within the wheel, yeah. It's a rotary, actually a radial engine. Some people say it's rotary.
It's radial.
It is a radial design, just like an airplane, the older airplanes. And it has no transmission, no clutch. So you kind of push start it and away you go.
Boy, many trucks as we finished this year to see a 1957 Chevrolet truck this clean, this spectacular. I think it's just really spectacular truck. Very well done. And you can tell the paint on the vehicle is the correct color. And what they did is they used the 6-cylinder engine. Most guys went to V8s, made all sorts of big changes and whatnot, but he kind of did a lot of street rod and kind of a really good quality stuff I want you to check out, because he has 2 carbs on an intake manifold setup. They don't come from the factory that way. These were some performance items you could buy back in the 50s. These are spectacular. These are really cool. Now, everybody always wants to ask questions on the show. Horsepower, 0 to 60. Throw me some specs on this.
0 to 60 is not published, but I can tell you the factory team said they did 3.7, 0 to 60.
See,
Nobody that owns one.
This is car guy talk, bench racing. This is bench racing. Nothing in writing anywhere. No proof or nothing. And what was that spec again?
3.7, 0 to 60. But nobody who owns one knows how they did it, because I can maybe do 5. It's a whole thing about hooking up the rear tire. That poor little rear tire gets annihilated.
That's bench racing at its best.
It has a top speed, it's governed to 130.
When it comes to Mustangs, Dream Machine seems to pull out some of the best Mustangs in the whole Bay Area, or I'd say Northern California. And his Shelby's just come out of the woodwork. And when you see a fine Shelby like this, you got to stop, you got to look at it. Love the front lights on the front of the car. All the telltale signs of an absolute spectacular car. What a great place for some great cars. For 1972 Camaro, this color, we just hope we get the right camera to be able to get the luster out of the color of this car. It's absolutely beautiful. You can just tell it's done right. The stripes are, you know, pretty much like a ghost stripe. They're actually underneath the actual clear coat itself. The paint goes all the way into the cowl. It goes all the way to where the fenders come in. This car is done right. I'd have to say it's one of the nicer 72 Camaros I actually have seen in a long time. And boy, do they got the birds here. This happens to be a 1966 T-Bird convertible. And T-Birds were such a very unusual car. I want to say they were very well over-engineered in some ways, because they had some very interesting options. This car here has some crazy options I think is really kind of cool. You don't see every day. And you got split headrest on the seats. When Estelle gets a picture of that, you kind of see how the headrest kind of pops up out of the seat and comes out. It's very unusual. And not all of them had what they call the tilt steering. It's not tilt steering, it's coaxial steering. And this steering here slid all the way to the right. So when you put the car in park, the steering wheel slides all the way over and it gets you out of the car. I think it was just a fantastic idea.
The boards inside, heading out singing our song. Come surf, baby, wait and see, yeah. I'm gonna take you surfing with me. Well, come on.